Peanuts and peanut butter are often included in the list of foods not to eat for someone who's overweight and has high blood pressure, hypertension, heart disease, kidney disease, liver disease, and certain other conditions. But what if we told you that the opposite might be true? That's right. Peanuts and peanut butter contain some very special nutrients that make them extremely healthy, given that you eat the right kind and the right amount of peanuts or peanut butter. For now, in this video, let's focus on peanut butter and learn how healthy it can be, which ingredients in many commercially available varieties make them unsuitable for people with certain health conditions, and of course, the right kind and the right amount of peanut butter. First, let's have a brief look at the health benefits of peanut butter. Besides being an excellent source of plant-based protein, peanut butter is like a tiny package of several essential nutrients. For example, it contains vitamin E, which is an antioxidant and protects your cells and tissues from free radical damage, particularly the ones that make up your skin and blood vessel walls. Peanut butter also gives you vitamin B3, which is essential for brain health and heart health, and even helps lower inflammation in arthritis patients. It contains manganese that's essential for bone health, sugar metabolism, and collagen synthesis, and decent amounts of copper and magnesium, which are important for proper nerve function, immune function, and muscle coordination and movements. Peanut butter is also a good source of tryptophan, an amino acid that our body needs to produce hormones like melatonin and serotonin, which regulate mood, hunger, and sleep. Just 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, which is roughly 32 grams, packs about 8 grams of protein and 16 grams of fat, and you'll be getting about 188 calories from them. This combination in peanut butter makes you feel full quickly, makes you feel satisfied for longer, suppresses hunger, and reduces your overall calorie intake throughout the day. But there's one common ingredient in many peanut butter varieties that makes them do entirely the opposite of what we just told you: added sugar. Added sugar doesn't just increase peanut butter's overall caloric value, but also causes blood sugar spikes and, as a result, insulin spikes. And that's the primary factor that contributes to weight gain in most people. Speaking of sugar, peanut butter without added sugar can also help manage blood sugar for people with diabetes. It contains a special type of fat called oleic acid, which has been shown to enhance insulin sensitivity and lower high blood sugar levels. So that's our lesson number 1: avoid peanut butter with added sugar. Anyhow, being a good source of protein, peanut butter helps your body burn more fats while building more muscle mass. Now let's have a look at the kinds of fats present in peanut butter. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter provide about 3.3 grams of saturated fat and 12.3 grams of unsaturated fats. So, technically, the average serving size of peanut butter gives you 20% of unhealthy fats and 80% of healthy fats. More surprisingly, many modern studies suggest that it's not the amount of saturated fats that makes a food entirely unhealthy. It's actually the ratio of unhealthy to healthy fats. Those good fats help our body make HDL cholesterol, the kind that our body needs to get rid of excess LDL cholesterol. But how to identify that the peanut butter you're going to buy is the good kind? That's what this video's lesson number 2 is. Read the food labels. Look at the product label for terms like saturated fats and trans fats. The good kinds of peanut butter will have the least amount of saturated fats, and ideally, no trans fats. Remember that peanuts naturally contain 10 grams of saturated fats per ounce, so even the organic peanut butter varieties will have some amount of saturated fats. Besides the amount of fats, there's another term to look for in the peanut butter jar you might want to buy. Lesson number 3: hydrogenated, or partially hydrogenated. Peanut butter is generally lower in saturated fats, but might contain high amounts of trans fats. On the other hand, fully hydrogenated peanut butter doesn't usually have trans fats, but might contain high amounts of saturated fats. Even if peanut butter itself isn't hydrogenated, it might still contain hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils. So, what to look for instead? We'll get to that in a while, so stay with us. Here's lesson number 4. Watch out for aflatoxins and monoglycerides. Aflatoxins are basically a group of toxic compounds that are produced by a mold that's present in fields where peanuts, cottonseed, corn, and tree nuts are usually grown. So peanuts are very likely to be affected by them. And if the peanuts can get them, even the organic peanut butter varieties might contain aflatoxins. These compounds have been linked with liver cancer, growth problems in children, and even problems with mental development. Although regulatory authorities ensure that the amount of such toxins in consumables is not more than safe limits, it's best to ensure that the peanut butter variety you're buying is from a well-reputed brand that gets rid of aflatoxins properly. As for monoglycerides, they're often used as emulsifiers in peanut butter to enhance their taste and shelf life. Emulsifiers are basically the compounds that are used by manufacturers to mix oil with water, preventing that extra layer of oil or moisture over the product inside the jar. Shockingly, a French study even showed an association between frequent consumption of monoglycerides and many types of cancers, including prostate cancer in men and breast cancer in women. Anyhow, the peanut butter that contains that extra oily layer inside doesn't likely have monoglycerides or other emulsifiers, and that's one way to identify organic or minimally processed peanut butter. Don't worry, this oil water layer is perfectly safe, and you can enjoy your peanut butter after stirring it a little, unless you notice visible mold or fungi above it, which is less likely but still possible. Number 5. Glyphosates. Glyphosates are basically herbicides often used to kill weeds without harming the crops being grown. In peanut fields, such herbicides are sprayed before the cultivation of peanuts, primarily to clear the fields of residual crops or weeds. Peanuts, and therefore peanut butter, might contain trace amounts of glyphosates, which have even been shown to be linked with cancers. The solution to all these concerns is simple. Look for 100% natural, organic peanut butter. It's supposed to be made from just roasted peanuts and table salt. So the food label of 100% organic peanut butter would be very short with just 1 to 2 ingredients on the label. Here are a few other important things to consider while eating peanut butter. Number 1. Ensure that you're not allergic to peanuts or peanut butter. Signs of peanut allergy include wheezing, a runny nose, shortness of breath, tightening of the throat, diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, vomiting, and skin reactions like hives, swelling, or redness. Number 2. You can eat just peanut butter in the morning on an empty stomach, but avoid eating it too much. It contains both protein and fats, and particularly fats spend more time in the gut and take longer to digest. Eating too much peanut butter, regardless of when you eat it, can cause bloating or gas. It can also overburden the gallbladder, as it releases bile to digest the fats present in peanut butter. Number 3. What is the right amount of peanut butter to eat every day? The standard serving size is 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, and there's a good reason for that. As mentioned earlier, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter will give you about 188 calories. This caloric content is moderate, so that you can control the number of calories taken during the rest of the day, and therefore less likely to gain weight. Number 4. The amount of saturated fats in 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, which is ideally 3.3 grams, is also moderate. The American Heart Association recommends taking no more than 6% of daily calories from saturated fats. This translates to max 13 grams of saturated fats per day, so 3.3 grams of saturated fats coming from the standard serving size of peanut butter shouldn't be a problem for most people. Number 5. It's also important to control the amount of saturated fats you'd be taking from other meals during the day. That becomes particularly important for people with existing health conditions, such as heart disease or type 2 diabetes. Number 6. For heart patients, as we mentioned earlier, eating peanut butter can be safe and even beneficial, but it's important to note that peanut butter also contains omega-6 fatty acids. They're not harmful on their own, but studies show that getting more omega-6 than omega-3 can worsen or increase the risk of developing heart disease. So if you're eating peanut butter, ensure you're getting omega-3s too, and you can do that by eating foods like fatty fish, including salmon and tuna, flax seeds, chia seeds, avocados, walnuts, and beans. Plus, if you have any underlying health conditions, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, liver disease, kidney disease, or others, talk to your healthcare expert about how much peanut butter is safe for you and that it doesn't interact with any medications you might be taking. We also have a video about the benefits and potential risks associated with peanuts. Check it out.